Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Golang Cafe, and today we are going to talk about the MultiWriter in Go. MultiWriter is a utility tool that is found in the Go standard library, specifically in the io package, and it is pretty handy if you haven't used it before, because it allows us to duplicate writes to multiple io writers in general, but more specifically in our case it's going to allow us to duplicate writes to multiple files. So you can use that, for example, if you want to have a single point where you can effectively write data to multiple file streams. For instance, whenever you want to write data to a standard output and duplicate that data into a JSON file, or duplicate the data into an archive file, or create more files with the same data. This is a pretty common scenario if you are working with data pipelines or backend APIs in Go, and today we are going to see a simple example on how we can achieve that in Go. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a struct that is going to be our use case for now. It's just going to be a company struct with a name, an ID, which is a string and an integer. This is not really relevant for the MultiWriter example in this tutorial, but just for you to understand that you can use that with any type of example. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a bunch of data, and then this data is going to be used with the MultiWriter interface, and you're going to see in a moment how this plays out. So the first thing, I just came up with a couple of names, and then once this is done, we are going to go through the writing of our data into our final file. So now that we have our data, we can finally start to save the data into a file. So let's say that you are reading data from an external API, or you're reading the data from an external data source, and you want to save the data in a file. The way that you do that is just by opening up a file. So we can do that by doing let's create companies. In this case, I want to save it in a JSON format. So you can just check the error if there is any error in this case, and then you can just log if there is any error. And remember to f.close after you write to the file. Now, in order to do that, we just need to initialize our encoder, doing JSON new encoder, and we pass the file, which is an io.Writer. So remember that the file, if you go here, the file has a write method. The write method is what satisfies the io.Writer interface. So in one of the previous episodes, we have seen the io.Writer interface, and the io.Writer interface is satisfied whenever a struct implements the write method that takes a byte slice and returns the number of written bytes and an error. So the file by itself, the os.file by itself is an io.Writer. With the JSON new encoder, we are going to need a writer. So if you look at the documentation, it takes an io.Writer, so which can be a file, it can be anything that implements an io.Writer. And we pass our file, and at this point we just loop through our companies, and we attempt to save the companies into our file. So this is just a base example. We encode, we pass the company, we check if there is any error, and then we log. So this is the base case. We have some data coming in. So just the first part here, we can say that data coming in, and then we want to save data into a file or a backup, and then we actually JSON encode the data and we save it into a file. So that's the basic scenario. Let's run it. We also need to import all our dependencies. So you can see now that our data is being written into the file in a JSON formatted fashion, and that's what we wanted. So now let's say that you have a new requirement and you have to save a backup of all the data that you download in a different file just for auditing purposes. And the way that you can do that without changing much of this code is by effectively duplicating all of this code here and what you're going to do, you're going to then save the data into a bucket file. Right, so that's the more reasonable approach. So you have companies.backup, and then it's exactly the same as before. Obviously, the file name is going to be file backup. It's going to be slightly different, but the logic is exactly the same. So now we do go run main.go. The encoder needs to be updated, so we just update it. Then we run it, and then what we're gonna get is companies.json and companies.backup, and that works perfectly. But we don't like to duplicate our code. We want to make sure that we duplicate as little code as possible. So we are going to remove all of this, which is duplicated code, and instead we are going to use the protagonist of today's episode, which is the io.MultiWriter. The io.MultiWriter is a syntactic sugar. It's a nice way for us to write data to a multiple io.Writers without having to duplicate logic. And the way that we do that is by doing the following. We define that using io.MultiWriter, and we pass as many writers as we want in here. So in our case, we're going to pass the file. We are also going to pass the file bucket, which we actually need to instantiate here. So obviously, this is something that you need to instantiate. So we initialize the backup, we check if there is any error, we log if there is any error, and we defer fb.close at the end. And then we have our multiwriter here, which is then going to be used in our JSON encoder. So let's just do a go imports to import all of the dependencies. And by the way, this is just using a standard library IO package, so you don't have to import any third-party dependencies. Now I'm going to remove the companies.json, I'm going to remove companies.backup, and we are going to go run main.go and run it again and see whether we get the same results as before. So companies.json, we see the same, companies.backup, still the same. So this serves our purpose. Now let's say that not only you want to save the backup, but you also want to display the data that you download into standard output. Well, the easy way is just to add standard output in our new multiwriter, because it takes a variable size length of writers. You can put as many writers as you want here, so you don't have a fixed length. You can just put as many as you want. And to write down the data into standard output, you just use os.stdout. Obviously, make sure that you already have that because of os.create. You can just now do run main.go, and you also get the data directly in standard output. So looking at the documentation of multiwriter, you will see that it takes a variadic argument, which is writers, so you can pass as many writers as you want, and this creates a writer that duplicates its writes to all the provided writers, similar to the Unix t command. So it's similar in a way to the t-reader that we've seen in one of the previous episodes. The only difference is that with the t-reader that we have seen before, we are duplicating the data that we read into a single writer. In this example, we are duplicating the data to multiple writers. So we are just reading the data from somewhere, and we're using a single writer to write the data to multiple destinations. So that can be pretty useful if you have to do backup of files, if you have to do, for example, logging, if you have to create logs, and you have to write the same data to multiple destinations at the same time, and you don't want to effectively just duplicate all of your code. In terms of implementation, that's as easy as you see. So we can just see the Go definition in here, and it just creates a slice of writers. So it just counts how many writers you passed in, it a slice of writers, and then you loop through them, and then it appends each writer to the list of writers. Obviously, if you pass a multiwriter to the input list, that will be as well. It will be, it will take all of the writers inside the multiwriter that you pass in, and I will recursively assign all the writers to a list. And this list is then going to be kept inside this multiwriter struct. So if you look at the source code, the multiwriter.write, which is the method that is going to be used by when invoking the writer that applies to the io.Writer interface, what happens is that this is going to range through io.Writers. So effectively, it's just a for loop, saves the writers into a slice, and it does a for loop whenever you need to write something. Obviously, if it fails, it will be the first failure on that chain, and will stop writing to all the other writers. So that's pretty much the implementation of the multi-writer. It's pretty easy in terms of implementation, in terms of internals, and it's also pretty easy to use as a funnel package. The good thing is that it allows us to use the writer in a very efficient way, in a very clean way, if you want to duplicate writes to different destinations. I think that's pretty much it for this episode, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.